Hey YouTube, I'm back once again with a few more pickups. So yesterday, which was Saturday, what was the date? What is the date? You know what? I don't even know. Isn't that weird? 26th today, so it was the 25th yesterday. I had a ride out to Middlesbrough. I've already done a short pickups video of the VHS that I found yesterday. I thought there was enough in just VHS to make a video all up by itself, and this is the rest of the stuff that I picked up. A few Blu Rays, a few DVDs, and a couple of video games. So we'll get those two games out the way first. These were bought same time as most of the VHS tapes in, what was it called? You know what, I can never blinking remember. It's a good job I have a photo. Far Place, which is an animal charity shop, and I'd picked up my VHS, was at the back of the shop, and was on my way back to the counter, and just next to the counter there was a couple of cabinets, mostly jewellery and stuff like that in, but there was a bunch of video games, a big stack of PlayStation 2 games, and then a few PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 games behind them. Now the Xbox and PS3 games were all sports, mostly football. Not interested in any of those. The PS2 games again were mostly sports. A couple of shooting games, again not interested in any of those. But there was two driving games at 50p each. I think they were all 50p each, actually, to be fair. I don't know if either of these are any good, but like I say, 50p each. Stuntman Ignition, both are complete with the manual. The discs are not mint, but they're passable. You know, there's very few, nothing in the way of bad scratches on there. And then the other one is Stock Car Crash. I've never heard of either of these games. I have a feeling I've probably seen that cover before, but as far as knowing anything about the games other than the driving or racing games, I don't know anything. This one I'm fairly certain I'm not familiar with this one at all. But again, it is complete with the manual and the disc. This one being a blue CD. I believe the blue ones are just CDs rather than DVDs. But the disc is passable. It's more than passable, actually. There's a few light scratches on it, but I don't think anything will stop it from playing. I haven't checked either of them on CX, but I very much doubt either are worth anything. But I intend to keep them. Then we'll go back to the beginning, I think, which was Salvation Army, which was the first place I visited on the way into town, where I picked up the sealed blank VHS tapes. They have their DVDs and CDs at £5 for £1 and Blu Rays at £1 each. They've actually got a sign up now. When I was in there before, I had a whole bunch of Blu Rays and HD DVDs mixed in with the DVDs, and not priced up. But they insisted that they were priced separately when I took them to the counter, so I didn't end up buying any of those that day. But anyway, the first thing I saw was 3 series of a series that I really like, series 1, 2 and 3. Series 1 I already had. I wasn't too sure at the time. I had to check on my phone because I knew I had one. I think was it 6 or 7? I think there was six series in total. I knew I had one of them. It turned out it was season 1 or series 1, which was good because that was the one that had the worst discs, or disc, was quite badly scratched, whereas these two, again, like the games, some light scratches, but nothing that I would see has been a problem playing. So we've got Goodnight Sweetheart, series 2 and series 3. These were part of the 5 for £1. I think both of these are 2 discs. So the first series I believe only has 6 episodes, whereas series, where are we? Series 2 that has 10 episodes, and series 3, once again, a couple of discs, also has, oh no, this one has 11 episodes. I don't know that I've seen either of these two for a very long time. Series 1, whenever I see it on the TV, I always see episodes from series 1 or one of the later series. The 2 main female characters from series 4 onwards are played by different actors, and it's more often than not when one of these appears on the TV, it's the 2 new actors, so it's a newer episode, either series 4, 5 or 6. But yeah, 20p each, they were a no-brainer. At this point, I struggled, even though I had so many DVDs, there was just nothing that I could find. And then I spotted this. Now, I don't know if this is related or not, but this is The Dictator's Son. Is this some kind of sequel to Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator? Or is it just cashing in on the success and the name of that movie? I don't know. But it looks like some kind of maybe teen comedy, you know, American Pie, that sort of thing. Maybe not quite as R-rated. Is that the right expression, as American Pie? But maybe that kind of vein. But I haven't seen it, so I thought, you know, 20p, I'll give it a go. I don't actually remember checking the disc on this one, which is a rookie mistake. But it seems okay. Get back in there. And then these next 2 I got probably because I might be able to just make a small profit on them. Actually, Zulu, I probably should check on CEX. I've given you the title away there, Zulu. I thought maybe I might be able to sell these on Vinted and just make a little bit of a profit on them. This is the special collector's edition of Zulu, which is just a normal DVD. It's 1 disc, which is surprising. You'd think they'd have an extra disc of special features on a special edition with a slip box. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing for a special edition, but 20p. I own this on Blu Ray, so I don't really need to keep this. Although I do often buy probably nicer special editions than this on DVD from time to time when I come across them. But yeah, this one I probably will sell on. And then this, initially I wondered whether I actually owned it or not. When I checked on the phone, I do have this. This is Clint Eastwood's Pale Rider in a snapper case. There is a small collector's market for this. People do still collect these. I still collect these. Hopefully these stickers come off okay. Yeah, this I'll be sticking on Vinted, and if I can get £1.50 for it. The good thing about Vinted is the buyer pays the fees and the postage, so whatever you ask for your item, be it £1 or whatever, that's how much you get. At least I assume that's how it works. I've never actually sold anything on there before, but got a couple of things here just to give it a try, and the VHS tapes that I got as well that I showed in the previous video. Then moving on to, am I missing something? Ah, yes. So finally, from Salvation Army, I had a quick look through the Blu-rays. There was probably 8 or 10, but only one that took my fancy. And again, I think this is another teen comedy, one that I've never heard of. Fired Up. It is an unrated edition. It's American or Canadian, but probably American. It's region free. But like I say, I've never heard of this. It was marked up as £1, but when I got to the checkout, the guy said, "Oh, because I bought he was really chuffed that actually somebody had bought those VHS tapes, because he didn't know whether someone was going to buy them. He said, you can have that for 50p if you want." So I thought, right, that will do for me. But yeah, don't know anything about this. This guy I recognise. I think, I'm fairly certain he was in, or may still be in, one of the NCIS. Actually, I do recognise this guy as well, but I don't know where from. Yeah, I think he was in one of the NCIS TV shows. I don't even know if it's still running. I haven't watched it for quite some time. Have we got any names? Eric Christian Olsen, yeah, I do recognise the name. Not sure that I recognise anyone else's name though. Is that other guy, Nicholas? What's that? Is that D'Augusto? D'Augusto? I'm sure I know his face, but I'm not entirely sure where I know it from. But yeah, I'll give it a watch. I didn't check to see if this was available in the UK. I should imagine if it was, I would have come across it at some point, unless it's got a different name, of course, over here. Anyway, 50p, why not? Although I was expecting to pay £1 for it, but let me have it for 50p. I don't know whether I overpaid for this or not. I checked it on CEX, they sell it for £4, so I thought £1.99, it's worth a try. The Expatriate with Aaron Eckhart and Olga Kurylenko, who is from, is it called Solace? There was a movie, God, I don't know when it came out, called Momentum? I think she was in as well, which I really enjoyed. That was quite a few years ago. Maybe I should give that another watch. But yeah, I don't know anything else about this movie. But what do you think? £1.99? Did I overpay for that? See, like I say, CX sell it for £4, so there must be something to it. Then these last three all came from HMV. So let's do them in the order that I picked them up. I was looking through the 88 films, Arrow films, everything, all those like I normally do. This has had a price drop. It was $17.99 last time I was there, $12.99. Why not? Got Drive on Blu-ray. I haven't seen this for a very long time either. Yeah, so happy to add that. 88 films. Then I was looking through the Marvel for the slip covers. The Phase 3 and 4 are really the only ones I need, apart from one. From Phase 2, I think. Although there's still some that I haven't shown yet that fill in other gaps. And one of these I was expecting to have a bit of a rant about. So the first one I got, The Eternals, $6.99. I didn't love this movie. I need to give it another watch, I think. Yeah, this is a Phase 4 with the slip. When this first came out, this next one, it got my blood boiling a little bit before the slipcover edition, because for whatever reason, Marvel have decided to put all their new release Blu-rays and even some of their newer re-released Blu-rays into slim cases, which meant they're going to have slimmer slipcovers and they're going to look awkward with everything else. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Again, I didn't love this film. I don't think I disliked it as much as that one. It was okay. It wasn't awesome. But what Marvel have done, and they've done it with Disney, or Disney have done it with the Pixar movies. I guess they've probably done it with their own movies as well, the classics. They're using these horrible, cheap, slimline cases, and they are slimline cases. And I noticed this with was it Turning Red when that came out? The Pixar collection have the numbered sleeves, numbered slip covers. I'll take a picture and add it in so you can see what I mean. I don't have any of the new ones to compare, but when you actually pick them up in HMV and compare them, they look odd because everything's smaller. And I figured that was going to be the same with Marvel. Oh, excuse me. But actually, when you put these together, although they are slimmer, it doesn't look that far out of place. Yes, the writing is a bit smaller, but it's not the deal breaker that I thought it would be. I'm going to be honest. I think this is the only one in a slim case that has been released with the Phase 4 slipcover. Thor: Love and Thunder and Wakanda Forever as yet, I don't think, or at least there weren't when I was in HMV yesterday, have been released with these Phase 4 slips yet. So I'm still going to reserve judgment, but I like I say, it doesn't make me as mad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would do. Yeah, it's not as awful as, like I say, as I was expecting. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. So that's it. That's on top of the VHS, of course. That's yesterday's little jaunt into town. Quite a bit better than I anticipated I was gonna find. I kind of went out under the impression that I was, which has been the case so much over the last, I don't know, 6 months. Not that I've been going too many places too often, but when I have visited charity shops in the recent past, it's been dire. There's been nothing, or almost nothing. Now, maybe I am getting a little more picky these days, or maybe there's, certainly I'm getting more picky when it comes to VHS, well, even with VHS, but certainly with DVDs. I'm not picking up DVDs like I used to. But even with Blu-rays now, you see the usual suspects in charity shops these days when it comes to Blu-rays. 99.9% of Blu-rays that are, in charity shops. No, maybe that's unfair, but certainly a good percent, more than 90% of Blu-rays I see in charity shops that once upon a time I might have just bought at 20 or 50p. I don't look at now, or I look, but I don't even pick them up. But if they're £1 or £2, even £3 sometimes, if there's something decent, yes, I'm going to buy them. But I haven't found anything like that. I think this Expatriate, and I suppose Fired Up as well, the exception to the rule, or the more recent rule, let's say. But who knows what the future holds? We might one day soon end up in a charity shop and then been a full shelf of Blu-rays at 50p each of stuff that you would never expect to find in a charity shop. I know that's never going to happen. The only way that would ever happen is if I'm actually there as they're putting them out on the shelf, because all the good stuff like that, if it's cheap, I think must get snapped up quickly. But car boot season is almost upon us. I did want to go today actually, but when I got up, well, even before I got up yesterday, sort of mid-afternoon, the heavens opened and it was raining all afternoon. And when I looked at the weather for today, although it has been dry, it's been overcast, and you know, the car boot sales, well, at least the ones I go to, it's going to be horrible underfoot when it's been raining the day before, unless it's been really, really sunny and it's managed to dry out, which I know that wasn't the case, or wasn't going to be the case, so I didn't even bother trying going to the car boot sales this morning. But oh my god, I've just seen the time. But didn't expect. Oh, I'm going to have to get going. I've got to be somewhere in 10 minutes. Yeah, like I was saying, what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought now. I shouldn't have looked up at the clock. I'm glad I did though. Anyway, yeah, car boot sales. Car boot sale season is pretty much here now. So as the weather gets nicer, I'll probably be visiting the car boot sales more often than going into town. Most of my purchases, as you've seen if you've been watching over recent months, not that there have been that many videos, have been online, with I think the one major exception of that trip to Durham recently. But anyway, on that I'm going to go, because even though this video was supposed to be short and sweet, it's ended up being over 20 minutes because I'm waffling once again. So thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. I have got some more stuff to show from Vinted, Amazon, and I think eBay. Yeah, eBay and Vinted. Amazon, I'm not so sure about Amazon, but anyway, thanks for watching. Ta-ra.